Hi, so this video is going to explain how to draw a cumulative frequency graph and also what cumulative frequency is. And then at the end of the video, we're going to use the cumulative frequency graph that we've drawn to answer some questions. So we're going to use this frequency table here. So this frequency table shows the weight in kilograms of some cats. So that means that 8 cats weigh between 0 and 1 kilogram, 10 cats weigh between 1 and 2 kilograms, and so on. So the first thing we need to do is we need to work out the cumulative frequencies. Now, cumulative frequencies are like an accumulation of the frequencies. So we kind of add them up as we go down. It's like a running total. So between 0 and 1 kilogram, well, there's only 8 cats that weigh between 0 and 1 kilogram. But now we're going to think about between 0 and 2 kilograms. So that's both of these. It's the ones that weigh between 0 and 1 and the ones that weigh between 1 and 2. So we're going to add the first two numbers together. So that's 18. Then we're going to think about 0 to 3 kilograms. So that would be the first 3 rows of our table. So 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3, all added together. So 8 add 10 add 21, which is 39. And then 0 to 4 would be the first 4 entries of our frequency table added together. So that would be 58. And then 0 to 5 would be the first 5 entries added together, so 71. And then 0 to 6 would be all of the entries added together, so that would be 80. So that means that there were 80 cats weighed in the first place. Okay, so we've got our cumulative frequencies there, so it's like a running total of our frequencies as we go down the table. Now, we can use these cumulative frequencies to draw a cumulative frequency graph. So when we set up our graph, we need to have the cumulative frequencies up the side. Okay, so that goes up to 80 because my cumulative frequencies went up to 80. And along the bottom, I've got the weights in kilograms. So it's each of these kind of key markers here I've gone for. Okay. So let's put both on the same page at the same time. Great. So now I'm going to plot this information onto this graph. So one of the important things about a cumulative frequency graph is that we always plot it at the upper end of the class. So it's up to and including 1. So at 1, we would plot 8. So we go along to 1 and up to 8. So mine's going to be quite approximate here. I have to do as good a job as I possibly can. At 2, I'm going to plot 18. At 3, I'm going to plot 39. At 4, I'm going to plot 58. At 5, I'll plot 71. And at 6, I'll plot 80. Okay, so I've got all of my cumulative frequencies plotted there. And then to just finish off our cumulative frequency graph, we need to join these points with a smoother curve as we possibly can. So it's really important that it's a smooth curve. And at 0, there would have been no cats weighing 0. So I can start this one from 0, 0. So I have to try my best here to make it as smooth as possible. And often they come out being a sort of stretched out S shape. Okay, so there's my cumulative frequency graph showing the weights of those 80 cats finished. So now we're going to use our cumulative frequency graph to answer a few questions. So the questions that we're going to answer are these. So I can put them over here. Okay, so we've got use your cumulative frequency graph to estimate the median, estimate the interquartile range, and estimate the number of cats that weigh over 4.5 kilograms. So the first one, estimating the median. So the median would be halfway up the data. Okay, so if there are 80 cats altogether, the halfway point would be at 40. So we would use our graph, so we can draw a line across at 40 until we hit our curve. And then when we hit our curve, we can go down to the weight. So the median would be approximately 3.1 kilograms. Okay. We'll talk about why it's an estimate at the end of the 3 questions. The next one, estimate the interquartile range. So the interquartile range is the upper quartile, let's write UQ for that, take away the lower quartile. Okay, so we're going to need to figure out what the upper quartile is and what the lower quartile is. So quartiles are the lower quartile is a quarter of the way up the data, and the upper quartile is 3/4 of the way up the data. So the upper quartile, if there's 80 cats, 3/4 of the way up, that would be at the 60th cat. So to find the upper quartile, we can do just like we did with our median. So draw a line across at 60 and go down to our weight down there. So that is about 4.2. And for our lower quartile would be 1/4 of the way up through the 80 cats, so the 20th cat. So I'm going to draw a line across at 20. And when I hit the curve, go down. So I'd say that's about 2.2 kilograms. And then the interquartile range is the upper quartile take away the lower quartile. So 4.2 take away 2.2 is 2 kilograms. Okay. And next lesson, we're going to talk about what that means about the spread of our data. Okay. And then the last part of the question is to use our graph to estimate the number of cats that weigh over 4.5 kilograms. So instead of going from our cumulative frequency across and down, this time we're going to have to start with the weight. So we're going to start at 4.5 kilograms, which is there. And then we're going to draw a line up to our curve. And then when we hit the curve, we can go across. That's worked out quite nicely. And we just have to be really careful about the phrasing of this question. So it's the number of cats that weigh over 4.5 kilograms. So it's all of these cats here. So it's 15 cats. So the last thing we need to talk about is just why these are estimates. So the reason that these are estimates is because we actually don't know where in each of these regions these cats lie. So we don't know how many of these 10 cats weigh, how much they weigh between 1 and 2 kilograms. They could all weigh 1.5 kilograms. They could all weigh 1.1 kilograms. They could be a complete mixture between 1 and 2 kilograms. So that's the reason that all of these answers are estimates, is because we don't know exactly how much each cat weighs. Great, okay, so you can hopefully draw a cumulative frequency graph now and use it to estimate the median, the quartiles, and use it to also figure out the answer to questions like part C there. So if you have a go at the worksheet that's attached to the lesson, and then the answers will be included by your teacher later. Okay, thanks.